Okay, I'll just wait another minute, see if anyone else joins before I start. Um, so this is recording. To those watching the recording um, at home or on the go, hope you're doing well. And thanks to be here. Thank you to be here. Um, okay, I'll just get started then. Let's get this show on the road. Like this. Yeah, those are the slides. So let's get started, guys. Okay. Now, before I start this session, answer something in your head. Okay? Just answer it in your head. If you could hand off one part of your startup tomorrow, if you could hand off one part of your startup tomorrow, no cost, no downside, would it be selling? For most founders, the answer is yes. And it comes very fast. Mine was yes for a long time. That instinct, the one that says selling is the part I'll deal with it later, is the most expensive one an early founder has. And tonight, I'm hoping to change your mind about it. Here's the thing. Wanting to build instead of sell is completely normal. It's normal. You started this because you had an idea, not because you dreamed of chasing people for meetings. You wanted to build, not chase people around. Selling feels like the opposite of building. It feels like begging or bragging, and neither one is comfortable. And I get it. I've been in your shoes more than once. I get it. I felt exactly the same way for a long time. But the story we tell ourselves about selling is where the trouble starts. So let's look at how we handle that feeling. When something feels uncomfortable, we look for a way out. And there's always an exit on offer. Always. Either a real one or a made up one. Hire someone whose actual job is sales. Or pay an agency to do the outreach. Or the quiet one. Tell yourself, you'll get to it once there is budget. All three of them feel responsible. All three feel like good delegation. And all three done too early quietly costs you the most important thing you have right now. And let me show you what that is. This is the whole session in 2 sentences. First, in the early days, nobody can sell your product as well as you can. And I'll show you why that's not a confidence thing. It's a fact about information. Second, and this is the part almost everyone misses. Selling is not a task you do after the building. It is part of building. The sales conversations are where you find out what to make next. Your next step. Hold on to both of those. We'll take them one at a time. We'll take them one at a time. Okay. Part 1. Why it has to be you, at least for now. And notice I said, for now. This isn't forever. It's about this specific window right at the start. Think about what actually lives in your head. You know why you built this. Not the tidy version on the website. The real reason why you built this. You know exactly who it's for, because you've either been in their shoes or you've listened to hundreds of them. And you believe it deep down in a way you can't fake and can't hand over on day 1. A brilliant, fantastic salesperson can learn all of that, but they learn it from you over months. In their first week, they are carrying an empty tool belt. So if you pass the selling over before you've done it yourself, you're asking someone to teach a class you've never taken. Oh, think about that for a second. I'll repeat that. If you pass the selling over before you've done it yourself, you are asking someone to teach a class you've never taken. Here's a trap that looks like a very smart move, and it's a trap. You hire an experienced closer early, and you're thinking they'll get you sales faster. That's why you hire them. Yeah, they'll get you sales faster. But your product isn't proven yet. So when the deals don't close, you're stuck with a mystery. Maybe the salesperson isn't landing the pitch. Maybe the price is wrong. Maybe the product isn't ready. You can't tell because you weren't in the room. When you do the selling yourself, A lost deal isn't a mystery. It's a lesson with your name on it. And that lesson is the whole point. When you do the selling yourself, a lost deal isn't a mystery. It's a lesson with your name on it. And that lesson is the whole point. Part two. And this is the reframe I want you to take home. If you remember anything from this session, please remember this part. Remember this reframe. We treat customer research and selling as two different activities, two completely different activities. Research is the noble one. Selling is the grubby one. But look closely at a sales call. You describe the problem. They tell you if it's really their problem. You show the solution. They tell you if they would actually use it. You name a price. They tell you what it's worth to them. That is a customer interview. The only difference is there's money on the table. And that difference is what makes it better than any interview you ever run. Ask someone in a survey if they would use your product. Easy yes. It's a survey. They'll say yes. Because saying yes, it's free. And they want you to feel good. Ask them to pay for it, and everything changes. Suddenly, you get the truth. What they really care about. What they'd give up to have it. Whether this is a must-have or a nice-to-have. A yes on a survey costs absolutely nothing. A yes on a survey costs nothing. A yes with a card number attached is real data. That's why the sales call is the sharpest research tool you own. And it's sitting right there for free. Now, the part of selling founders dread most is the objections. I know the feeling. Objections are hard. We don't like them. Oh, it's too expensive. Or we already use something else. Or not right now. It stings. So the instinct is to hide from it or to let the salesperson take the hits for you. But flip it around. Every objection is a customer telling you for free exactly what stands between them and yes. I'll say that again. Every objection is a customer telling you for free exactly what stands between them and yes. People pay consultants a fortune for that. You are getting it handed to you on a call. When you are the one hearing it firsthand, every single time, you build up a map of what's really stopping people. Hand that off too early, and someone else gets your map. And when you hear objections firsthand, you start to hear what's underneath them. Too expensive usually isn't about the number. More often than not, it's not about the number. It usually means they don't see the value yet, which is a message about your pitch or your product. Not right now. Not right now. Usually, not right now means you are not a priority, which tells you something about who you are talking to. Or we already use something else. That usually is an invitation to explain what makes you worth the switch. These patterns, they only show up when you've heard the objection 100 times yourself. Yourself. That is not something you can read in a report. You have to be in the room, which is exactly why handing it off early, it is so costly. And that's what we'll cover now. On part 3, the word I want to notice here is quietly. When you hand off sales too soon, nothing dramatic happens. No alarm goes off. And that's what makes it so dangerous. When you sell, the loop is tight. You hear something on a call, you feel it, and by the next morning, you are changing the product because of it. That loop is your unfair advantage as an early founder. Now watch what happens when you hand selling off before you've built that muscle. The customer still talks, but now they talk to your sales hire. The insight lands in their notes, not in your gut. maybe it reaches you in a weekly summary, flattened and secondhand, if it reaches you at all. The loop isn't just slower, it's cut. And you won't notice that for months because the calls are still happening. They are just not happening with you. You are not in the room. And here's the other thing that breaks. One day, you will hire salespeople and you will need to lead them. Set their targets, fix their pitch, tell them when something's off. But if you've never sold the thing yourself, you have zero reference point. Zero. You won't know whether a bad month is the market, the pitch, or the person. You'll be managing something you've never done, which is like, it's like coaching a sport you've only watched on TV. It's like being Ted Lasso, except Ted Lasso is fantastic. But you get the point. You'll be managing something you've never done before. Doing the selling first isn't just about early revenue. Doing the selling first isn't just about early revenue. It's how you earn the right to lead the team that comes later. Now, I'm not telling you to be your own salesperson forever. No. That would be its own mistake. So here's how you know it's time. You can close deals again and again and again, and you understand why they close, so you can teach it. Your pitch has stopped changing every single week, which means it's ready to hand over. And the thing holding you back is simply that there aren't enough hours in your day. Not that you're still figuring out the customer. When those three are true, hire and hire well. Take your time. Don't rush it. And when you do, you'll hand over a real playbook instead of a shrug, because you built it yourself. That's the difference. Last part, and this one is more practical. So let's make sure you leave with something you can actually do next week. So this is your next week. Write down 10 people who genuinely have the problem you're solving. Reach out to them yourself in your own voice, like a human who cares and not a mail merge. Get on calls. And here's the discipline. Listen more than you talk. Listen more than you talk. Your job on that call is to learn, not to win. I'll repeat that. Your job on that call is to learn, not to win. Write down every objection exactly as they said it. Then, on Friday, read the whole list back. I promise you will see a pattern you did not expect. And that pattern alone is worth more than a month of guessing at your desk and talking to ChatGPT. Go on, take a screenshot of this slide. This is your next week. If the word selling still makes you flinch, try this reframe and see if it helps. You are not getting on these calls to close. You're getting on them to learn. Be a student. That takes the pressure off. And funnily enough, you close because people can tell when you are genuinely curious about their problem instead of just chasing their signature. The deals are a lovely side effect. The learning is the main event. Always be learning. Okay. We're moving fast. Let me leave you with one line. You are not selling to hit a number. You're selling to find out what to build. Do it yourself for now. Hear every objection with your own ears. Keep that loop tight. And when the day comes to hand it over, you will do it from experience instead of avoidance. That's founder-led sales. And it is one of the highest return things you can do this early. Sell it yourself and go on calls to learn, not to close. All right, that's me. Okay. I would love to hear from you. If you have any questions, drop in the chat, or you can come off mute and we'll work through a few of them together.